Hi everyone, this is Vivian. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do some italic hand practice. In the previous video, I showed you how to make your own guide sheet and explain some of the materials that you will need to practice italic hand. So today I'm actually going to show you how to practice italic hand. This is a very standard and classic style in calligraphy, and you can totally teach yourself this style. It's very elegant and versatile that it pairs well with many other types of calligraphy. In today's video, I'm going to use layout bound paper, and also I have taped together a couple sheets of large size paper just to give it a little pushing. And I have taped my, this is the layout bound paper, and also I have the guide sheet underneath. So I show you how to make this guide sheet by hand and also in Illustrator in the last video. And this is exactly that one that I made. And also I have an extra sheet of paper as a guard in case I have ink on my hand, I won't get my writing paper dirty. And I'll be using Browse number 2 nibs. And also in the previous video, I also show you how to choose nib and prepare your nib, so don't forget to check that video out. And I'm also going to be using the Hingis Eternal ink for today's practice. And for reference, you can find any calligraphy books that has the style that you want to practice. This one is a Speedball textbook. I talked about this book quite a lot in many of my videos, and it just has a lot of different styles, so it's a quick reference guide. But actually today I'm going to be using this one. This one is called Lettering and Calligraphy Workbook. It's also a book that has tons of information and history about calligraphy, so I'll be using the model sheet from this book today. If you don't have any calligraphy book, you can just go online and search for Italic Calligraphy alphabet, then you'll find something similar that you can use as a reference to practice. So for Italic Calligraphy, you want to hold your pen at a 45 to 30 degree angle, and that means if we are holding our pen, we want to draw the thinnest possible line at a 30 to 45 degree angle. And if you imagine this is 90 degree, then kind of divide it in half, this should be about 45 degrees. So somewhere between here and maybe here. So this is just a quick way to figure out what angle you're holding your pen at. So first we want to do some practice of just having a thinnest line at a 45 degree angle. And then try to combine that with a straight down angle at the slant that you choose. In my case, it's a 5 degree slant. Once you can comfortably produce the thin and a thick stroke, then we can start writing. Of course, there are a lot more other drills and basic stroke you can practice, but this video I want to just show you how to write the alphabet. So what I like about italic calligraphy is that just by the nature of this pen, you're already producing 2 strokes, depending on which direction you write. That's why I think italic is a very beginner-friendly style to learn. So let's start with A. In our guide sheet, the first stroke is the downstroke, but actually for me, I like to do the top bar first. I am rebellious. So that would be an A, and for some reason, if I do the downstroke first, it would just, I don't know where this upstroke is supposed to end up to, so it always ends up a little too wide. So I just like to do this horizontal one first and then do the second stroke instead of the first stroke. So there is an A, and for B, we want a little serif and the straight down stroke in the slant. So I did that in 1 stroke, but you can also do this in 2 separate strokes. So that would be second stroke and then third stroke. And you can also write it this way. Or you can put a little roof on top of the B. And for C, or how I actually do is this. And D will be kind of like an A, except we have a longer downstroke. And you can also do it without a little roof. It's actually not called roof. I'm just making up names. And E will be similar to a C, except it has a counter, has that little enclosed part. And a simple F will be just a straight, very clean F. Or we can add a little swash to it. That could be an F. And G will be like an A, but now this time we're adding the downstroke, the down swash like the F. You can make it a little bit more curvy if you want. That could be a G. Another way to write the G is like this one, maybe like an old school. Not old school, this is classic, not old school. A G like this. And for H, we can do the same thing like we have for the B. We can have the H with a little roof. And then for I, this dot is just like a little diamond shape on top. And J will be like an extension of the I and the F combined. It's a little crooked, so okay, this one is a little better. And for K, there are several ways to do K. We can have a very clean one. Or the second way to do a K can have a little round loop there. And with all these ascenders, you can have a K that has a roof. It's not called roof, but I can't remember what's called now. Okay, and then it's L. And then let's do N before we do M. So that's an N, and once you can do an N, you can do an M. And then let's do an O. And this simple P will be something like this. Or you can do a P with a little bit of a tail. And Q is similar to writing an A. And to make it look finished, we can add a little like line. Or you can do what we did for P. And for R, it will be kind of like an I, and then with a little tilde thing. And S is probably the most challenging one in this style. So it's a little squiggly, and then adding the bottom and the top. And then now we have T. Sometimes I also like to have a T to have this part to be filled up. U could be like putting two I's together. And for V, that could be a simple V. Or you can do a V like this as well. And if you double that V, then give you double V. That would be a W. So here we have a W. You can also do it without this little serif. That has a very clean W. You can also do something, call this the magic W. That's another way to write W. And then X. Oops. It's a little crooked. Let's try that again. The X. You can also do an X like so. Have like a 2C facing each other back to back. Facing each other back to back. That doesn't make sense. Back to back, C. Just back to back. And then we have Y. So you can do the Y like a U style. You can do it in a V style. And similar to the G, you can have it a little more curvy. And then lastly we have Z. You put a little crossbar so it looks more like a Z. Or sometimes you can do it like a fancier Z. So for capital letter, the height of the letter is not going to be as tall as the ascenders. Usually it's between 7.5 nib width height. So if you know, in previous video we mentioned that the X height is 5 nib. So let's just add 2 more nibs. 2, and then so it just be a little bit below the ascender line we have. And for capital letter, you are actually holding your pen more flat, so that would be about 20. So imagine if this is 45, we wanted to hold it around 20. I'm guessing it's 20. So for A, the capital letter is tricky that it consists a lot of straight lines. So first you need to have very steady hand. And these are the basic forms, so they don't look all that fancy, but it's good to practice the basic form before you add any swashes. And also for capital letter, there's a lot of bigger curve, like in B, D, P, R, and those are usually the challenging ones. So like the C is a little too swooshed, so let's try again. There, it's a little better. And then D. So these are very, very stripped down. There's no swash, no embellishment. But once we get these formed down, later on when we want to embellish them, it will be a lot more easier. And H. Now let's do L. L is just 2 straight line. I like to do a little hairline to finish. And M, I would say M is probably the hardest letter, the hardest capital letter. It just has a lot of straight lines and it's supposed to be symmetrical, but not really. So there is an M, looks sort of okay. And it's not that easy either. So all these capital letters, they look very simple, but it's actually very hard. And then O. O is hard for different reasons. You need to have it look slanted but also round. It's just very tricky. And P is tricky because If you get it a little too big on the top, it will look like it's going to tip over. And Q, here we go again, like the O, but we're adding a little peaky tail to it. And then R looks like a P, even though it has a leg to it, but that leg it's not that easy to make it look right. And then S, the capital S is not as curvy as the lowercase s. T should be relatively simple, to a straight line. And then from here now on, we're just doing lowercase but in a bigger size. So there's U. V, and make it twice, so we'll do a W. Okay. And Z. I hope you give Italic hand a try. They might look quite basic for now, but once you get a hang of the letter form, you can start dressing them up with swashes and flourishes, and they do have potential to become very fancy. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!